Comprehensive Comics. That Infinite Conquest. Chapter 51. I am the dragon of the east wind, Tiverin. Thank you, young human being, for saving me from thousands of years of pain. Can you tell me your name? My name is Mojay, the ancient dragon. Tell me the truth of history. Why are you stained with the blood of the devil? The story from thousands of years ago. Quote. I see, that's it. Dragons have extremely high wisdom. After Tivalin's dragon eyes swept across the crowd, he immediately discovered what was special about Alpha and the others. Even though it has been cured, the demonic aura still exists. Are you the descendants of the three heroes who defeated the demons thousands of years ago? Ha ha ha. This is really fate. Then Tivalin told the truth. Thousands of years ago, it made a contract with a certain kingdom and became its guardian dragon, and that happened to be the time when the demon Diablos appeared. In order to prevent the demon from destroying the kingdom, Tiverin stepped forward to fight against it. In the end, the sky dragon barely managed to repel the demon, but it was also contaminated by the demon's blood, gradually eroding its sanity and turning into a beast. In order to avoid harming the kingdom he wanted to protect after being eroded, Tivalin chose to stay away, and that departure lasted for hundreds of years. But when it came back one day and wanted to see the kingdom it once protected, it found that the once prosperous land had been occupied by others after losing its protection. Even the person who occupied it was the cult of Diablos, so Tivalin released his previous ultimate move, the closing song of the end, in anger, turning the earth into purgatory. Although it was not destroyed, it also caused huge losses to the religious order at that time. In the end, Tiverin used his remaining sanity to summon the wind wall to imprison himself in this land to prevent himself from completely losing his sanity and bringing chaos and destruction to the world. The dragon's story ends here. Not a good story, sorry. Tiverin looked at the ruins where he had stayed for thousands of years, and his mood was extremely complicated. The prosperity of the past has been reduced to ruins, and the pact it guarded has evaporated. However, Mojay shook his head. It doesn't matter. Although it is a tragedy, the time you stagnated has flowed again. After 1,000 years, the dragon has been saved. What will happen next? The story is still going on, isn't it? Come with me to see the ending. Bar. Quote. Young man, you are really special. Do you want to invite me to take revenge together? Revenge. That kind of thing is too boring and too tragic. I don't like it. I want to invite you to be my companion, to create a new world together and welcome a new era, my era. Ha 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 ha. Interesting. It's really interesting. There are such interesting humans in the world. Then come up. Tiverin laughed heartily. It used its own dragon claws as steps to let Mojay ride on the dragon's back, then flapped its 6 dragon wings and turned into a blue meteor flying up into the sky. I accept this invitation. Human boy. No, Mojay, let me witness what kind of storm you will stir up in this world full of tragedies and undercurrents. Feel lucky, Tiverin, the dragon of the east wind, what you will witness is the best story. Hurry up. Hurry up. Fly over the clouds, I will go to a place that no one has ever reached in this world. Ha 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 ha. Sit tight then. I'm going to go at full speed. It's been 1,000 years, and I've never felt so happy flying before. Then you are really wasting your wings. You must know that flying is the highest state of freedom. Mojay sat on the back of the dragon, and he opened his arms as if to embrace the entire sky. At this moment, a poem from a previous life suddenly popped into Mojay's mind, and he almost subconsciously said it without thinking. The rock rides on the wind in one day. It soars 90,000 miles. Tivalin, let me see where your limit is. Then come on. It's so fun. It's so fun. Really, how have I done this before? Well, let's see where my limit is today. One man and one dragon soared into the sky in a straight line. Tivalin's dragon mouth opened wide, thinking that his dragon heart hadn't beat so fast in how many years. It is unbelievable that it is called the king of the sky in the past. It doesn't even know how high or far it can fly. It is really unworthy of its own dragon wings. Since you have wings, you must fly to the sky, and fly to the 9 heavens. From now on, as long as you play this melody, I will arrive no matter where you are. Okay, I get it. After returning to the ground, Yilong and the others were lying on the ground panting. They had almost flown into outer space. T-Valen almost crashed due to lack of oxygen. Oh no, he fell into the dragon. Now it has put an imprint on Moji's piano. From now on, as long as the boy plays a certain melody on this piano, it will arrive no matter where it is. Just thinking about it, he looks so handsome and has such a high profile. Moji's eyes lit up. Isn't this a cool takeoff? Just imagine for a moment, when everyone is addicted to their own divine performance, along with the music that makes their souls sink, a gorgeous and powerful dragon descends in front of them. T-Varen, you have such good taste. Huh, what are you talking about? I can't wait to give it a try. Now, let's rehearse later and I'll arrange a super cool debut pose for you. Quote. You can have this. One person and one dragon were lying on the grass, happily discussing how to make a handsome appearance. When my performance reaches its climax, you will fall from the sky, and then roar at the sky. Then you will pose like this and raise the dragon's claws. Well, this will make you more domineering. Yeah, good idea, I'll try it. One person and one dragon were lying on the grass, discussing with great interest how to force Layman to appear on the stage. As a dragon who has lived for who knows how many years and has little interest in anything in the world, T-Varen is now interested in Moji, a soul from the 21st century with a generally strange brain circuit. At the same time Alpha came over. Dark Knight, the general investigation has been completed. Really, don't lie in this dusty place, your clothes will be stained. Okay, I'm really happy today. Yes, I heard something good, but how many secrets do you still have? I didn't know you could play music like that. Alpha helped him dust off his clothes and picked up the violin on the ground. This violin died with the power of the wind dragon, the body of the violin turned blue, and there was a dragon emblem on it. Just touching the strings slightly can bring out the magic power of the wind attribute. Oh, you want to know all my secrets? Okay, then go find it. I put everything there. Where exactly? In the future, I will tell you personally, that is too boring. Alpha, you are an elf with a long lifespan, so go find it yourself, and slowly discover all my secrets in the future. Haha, don't you think this is very romantic? Quote. Quote. Alpha's lips curled up. What was he thinking? But he still didn't tell himself, but why his heart was so hot. Moji raised his hand and touched her head. How about some more rewards? If you can reach the final secret treasure, then I will fulfill any of your wishes. Real. Certainly. Alpha opened her eyes wide and looked at Moji in disbelief. She swallowed subconsciously, her heart almost beating out of her full chest. I understand. We have made an appointment. I will definitely understand everything about you, Moji. No matter how long it takes, elves have a long lifespan anyway, so, you should be aware of it. If it were in a deserted place, Alpha believed that he would jump for joy. So motivated, haha, I look forward to you discovering my secret, but now it's time to get to the point. Is there anything to gain? Well, this place has indeed exceeded expectations. It is very suitable as a stronghold headquarters for the courtyard. Moreover, Ada has also discovered something interesting and has already started researching it. Alpha looked around with satisfaction. T-Valen has allowed the Dark Knight courtyard to settle here, and it also said that it will continue to open the wind barrier to prevent outsiders from invading. Moji later plans to use space magic to slightly distort the nearby space, so that others will never be able to find it. As for invading from the sky, not to mention that only Moji and Agnes have flying props in the world. T-Valen is still here. Want to play aerial combat in front of the former king of the sky? That can only be said to be very courageous. But there's a problem. Alpha suddenly scratched his head, with a strange expression on his face, and rarely looked directly at Moji. What is the problem? Need money. Quote. It takes a lot of money. After just a rough calculation, Alpha found that if he wanted to completely convert this base, it would cost at least hundreds of millions of gold coins. Ah, I can't hear it. 9-digit gold coins or something, it's completely out, everyone should stay in my castle. The corners of Moji's eyes and lips twitched, and he covered his ears, a rare escape from reality. Even when facing the system, facing the same reincarnated person, and facing the dragon, he had never lost his calmness. At this moment, his defense was really broken. As the saying goes, a penny can't help a hero, let alone these 9-digit gold coins. Many money-making plans came to Moji's mind. Although it is basically useless in a short period of time, after all, this is not the urban novels of the previous life, where you can easily get huge sums of money by speculating in stocks and betting on stones. What should we do? The easiest way is to rob. The names of several nobles flashed through Moji's mind. They were all bad nobles who exploited the people. There was no doubt that they had a lot of money. Even if they were killed, no one would be unlucky. It's just that this goes against his principles. He would rather act like a tyrant and kill those worm nobles in front of everyone without any evidence than to become an assassin. Just then Tiverin raised his claws. If you need wealth, I have it here. Although I don't know your human concept of money, it should be enough. Huh, you, a dragon, are actually rich. We dragons all have the habit of collecting treasures. Although I am not strong in this habit, I know the location of the kingdom's treasure house thousands of years ago. With that said, Twerin flew to the tall tower in the center, and took Mojay and Alpha to open a certain mechanism. The next second, the light of golden wealth almost blinded the two of them. Gold coins, gems, jewelry, works of art, etc., etc., even after thousands of years, these wealth have not faded, but have piled up into a huge mountain of gold and silver treasures. Is this enough? That's enough. With so much money, we can transform this ruins into the best base. What an unexpected surprise. Alpha also showed a happy expression. He thought that the plan for the new base was ruined, but he didn't expect such a reversal. Mojay also breathed a sigh of relief. Okay, he almost had to use extraordinary measures. But it also gave him a wake-up call. It seems that you have to make money. Well, to make a lot of money, you must have a stable and large amount of income. It's been a long time since I came back from my last adventure. The development of Wind Dragon Ruins is proceeding steadily. Mojay took the time to check the progress several times and found that it is nearly half complete. He couldn't help but sigh. The efficiency of infrastructure is really terrible, but if you think about it, with the existence of earth magic, buildings and other things are easily accessible. Since then, Wind Dragon Ruins has been completely renamed Dark Knight Courtyard, and the courtyard is finally no longer just an organization name, but a place name. And now, Mojay, who had nothing to do, was pulled out of the house by a certain unprecedented princess. The two of them are currently located in the north of the royal capital. They are obviously a prince and a princess, but they are walking in a dangerous area where monsters are infested without any guards. Amo, some of them went to your place. Hey, sister, don't miss out on this level of trash fish. There are several slimes and goblins attacking Mojay. Although they are the weakest fish monsters in the game, they are actually quite ferocious in reality. Slime can drown enemies in its own bodily fluids. Although goblins are petite in stature, they are very agile. Once the males are captured, they will be used as food, and once the females are captured, they will be used as breeding tools. Therefore, there is a common saying among adventurers: after being caught by goblins, if you don't want to experience hell, please commit suicide immediately. Moji's eyes turned green and he shouted in a low voice, "Eye of the Wind King." The next second, the surrounding airflow gathered and suddenly formed a tornado, sucking all the monsters into it. Agnes didn't want to be frightened, and quickly hugged the tree trunk next to her to prevent herself from being blown away. Haha, it's over. Mojay yawned. The biggest advantage of the wind attribute is that it is easy to be reacted by elements and can easily gather monsters. It is obviously suitable for cleaning up these miscellaneous fish. Amo, when did your wind magic become so? Well, I had a little adventure some time ago. The green color in Moji's eyes dissipated and returned to the original magnificent purple eyes. Since signing the contract with Tiverin, he has gained part of the dragon's power. Dragon power. As the emotions change, it will exert great pressure on the surroundings. Under the majesty of the dragon, all weak people can only kneel down and worship. Eye of the Wind King. The control of wind attributes can transcend the human realm, and the King of Wind resides in your eyes. Okay, sister, it's time to tell you the reason, goal for asking me to go out this time. Hehe, that's right. The target this time is an explosive flame tree. The danger level is A level. It is a plant-type monster that ordinary adventurers cannot deal with. I see, that's really not something ordinary adventurers can deal with. Mo-Jae nodded in agreement. It was a rare and special plant-based monster, and it also overcame his own natural weakness of fire attribute. But the biggest reason is, of course, that I want to take adventures with Amo. I don't know what I have been busy with lately, and I don't even play with my sister anymore. We obviously used to sleep together when we were young. You are talking about before the age of 5. Mo-Jae rolled his eyes and pushed the clingy sister away. It was too unladylike to hug her while she was covered in blood. Although Agnes is a princess, she also has the status of a top adventurer. In the past, many monster materials were collected for experiments, but purchasing them from the market not only cost a lot of money, but was also scarce in quantity. So this unprecedented princess made another unprecedented move and went directly to the Adventurers Association to register as an adventurer. As an adventurer is a royal family, she was beaten up by her father and the princess that night. But don't say it. She is really talented. Easily reached the top position. Not only did it not embarrass the Wang family, but it also gained a lot of prestige among the people. His Majesty the King felt very complicated. However, Agnes knew very well that the reason why she was able to reach the highest level was largely thanks to Mo-Jae. Every time she encountered a monster she couldn't win, she had to rely on Mo-Jae. Once the explosive flame tree appears, it will have a serious impact on the surrounding environment. The ground will be burned, the air will become hot, and no creature except for fire attributes will be able to survive on that land. And once it gets too close, it will automatically attack. It's too dangerous. The Adventurers Association is having a headache. Agnes said so. There are all kinds of creatures in this world. Even plants can possess intelligence and are often more terrifying than animal monsters. The explosive flame tree not only incorporates the plant's natural enemy, flame, into its own power, but the fact that it is a plant also gives it almost domain-like characteristics. If not dealt with as soon as possible, the area where it grows will turn into scorched earth. Sister, is it in that cave? Well, according to the intelligence, it is said that only one person from the discovered adventurer team came back, and the rest were burnt to charcoal. Is it the charcoal you are stepping on? Huh, hey, hey, hey. Agnes looked down and saw that she had stepped on dark coals. She could just barely make out a human figure, and she was immediately startled. Mo-Jae looked at the red cave in front of him and felt the blazing waves coming towards his face. He showed an expression of interest, and then boldly walked into it. I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. Wait for me. Agnes quickly apologized to Zhao Tan and ran after Mo-Jae. Then the two of them found the explosive flame tree. It was like a tree of fire blooming in purgatory, a huge vine that absorbed the ancient flames rushing in the earth's veins, burning hotly as if full of anger. The whole body is fiery red, with 2 thick tentacles growing from the stem and 4 flame-shaped flower halves. It is known as the eternally burning giant vine. Quote exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark quote. It was obviously a plant, but it roared. Mo-Jae raised the corners of his lips. Oh Moses Roy. Unlike his previous life, he was very, very interested in all kinds of strange creatures that filled this world. Be it a dragon that controls the wind and sky, a tree flower that turns itself into flame, or even a wet and sticky slime, these are simply the miracles of life, aren't they? It was solved easily. Mo did it too exaggeratedly. Mo-Jae stood in front of the corpse of the explosive tree and watched Agnes collecting useful materials with the magic sword. The princess was looking at the battlefield with twitching eyes. For a moment, I didn't know how to evaluate him. My dear brother Wang seemed to be a bit weird unexpectedly. Sister, what are you talking about? I'm just watering it out of kindness. Isn't it normal to water plants or something like that? But this is a fire element plant, and are you watering it? You have clearly watered a lake. Wow, it's still the same enviable magic as always. Agnes looked around with envy. Mo-Jae summoned water with water magic and directly flooded the explosive flame tree. She suspected that the tree was actually drowned. In fact, it's more than that. Simple flooding can only weaken the explosive flame tree at most. The decisive blow was, Mo-Jae summoned several water tornadoes at will, which almost blew the poor explosive flame tree away from the ground by its roots. The recycled materials include fire element crystals, ever-burning fire, wish-burning agate, and so on. Let's go. The mission is accomplished. Ah wait, It's a rare trip. Don't be so anxious to go back. Let's go and have some fun. Sister, I remember you had a blind date and etiquette class in the afternoon, right? Ah, I can't hear you. I can't hear anything like blind dates and etiquette classes. Mo, don't use such words that make me hate you during our happy adventure time. Agnes covered her ears with her hands and squatted on the ground. Mojay shook his head dumbfounded. Okay, let's go somewhere for fun together. I remember there is a nice port town nearby. Sister, do you want to go and see it together? If I have to go, Mo, please take me away. Quote. Don't make it sound like an elopement. Put the materials of the explosive flame tree into the storage space. Mojay and Agnes walked out of the underground cave, and at the same time took out the flying magic props and took off. After experiencing flying on the back of a dragon, this level of flying can no longer make Mojay excited, but the view from a high place is still beautiful. But I'm so thirsty. I feel like all the water has evaporated just now. Well, the last one was really surprising. It could release so much heat that it boiled my water in an instant. Life's final counterattack is powerful and beautiful no matter what. It's a pity that he met the unreasonable Mojay and failed to change the ending of Withering. Sister, there is a fruit vendor down there. Where is he? Savior. Agnes immediately turned the nose of the plane, it was a broom, and then dived straight towards the ground. Mojay simply turned off the magic item and opened the space door under his feet, erasing the distance of several hundred meters from the ground. Boss, does your melon stay ripe? Ha! He blurted out a famous joke from his previous life, but when Mojay saw the fruit seller, he was a little stunned. He didn't expect that the shop owner was a white-haired girl. Guest, no, Your Highness, what kind of fruit do you need? Mo, help. The broom is out of control, catch me. Quote. My dear sister is always able to create interesting accidents. Ahem, wait a moment, young boss. Mojay helplessly looked at Agnes falling from the sky, thinking that this person might have made unnecessary modifications to his flying broomstick. He moved slightly, got into position and spread his hands. Okay, catch. He just happened to catch the princess who fell from the sky in the way of a princess hug. It was inexplicably suitable. It's so dangerous. It seems like the transformation has been overdone. It's good to know. If it weren't for me, my sister's butt drum would have been broken. A real man, isn't it because Mo is here? Nothing can happen. The white-haired girl selling fruit stared blankly at the two people. She didn't know how to react for a moment, but she had already discovered that these two people were the prince and princess of her country. It's just that the way they appear is very strange. Are these two playing something very new? Anyway, please give me 2 sunset fruits and 10 raspberries, thank you. Yes, thanks for your patronage. The little girl selling fruit immediately served the fruit with a smile, and Mojay noticed that she actually had special characteristics. Although there is some dust, she has white hair. She is obviously thin, but she has a pair of bright red eyes. Her small face looks dirty, but that is just a disguise to cover up her appearance. Mojay narrowed his eyes. How did you recognize us? Returning to Your Highness the Prince, it's your black hair and the princess's blonde hair, and that novel way of appearing falling from the sky. Humu, you have good taste. Even if ordinary people saw it, they wouldn't associate it with the royal family. She has a very good mind. Mojay looked at the little girl selling fruit again and felt that this little girl had amazing bones and would become a great person in the future. May I have your name? Quote. Ningguang. My name is Ningguang. The little girl selling fruit said softly. Ningguang. My name is Ningguang. Really, I look forward to the day when you will become the queen of business. Mojay suddenly said this, and then he waved his hand and left with Agnes. He wasn't just talking nonsense, he had seen it through the eye of Bull. This little girl has an extremely rare business talent. In time, becoming a business queen will not be a problem. To be honest, Mojay wanted to invite her on the spot, but, once the royal family opened her mouth like that, it would probably be taken as meaning that they wanted to take her under their wing. Although it is a pity, there is no opportunity in the future, and Mojay has already found a girl with the same talent among the members of Dark Knight Courtyard. His money-making career is ready. But Agnes next to her didn't know this. Amo, You want to pick up a girl and take it home again, don't you? Quote. Why do you have to say so much? Well, don't explain, I understand. Mo-jae was a little embarrassed as he ate the sunset fruit. Agnes also sighed helplessly, lamenting that her dear brother Wang really flirted with him wherever he went. It was said that every time at the royal banquet, when she saw Mo-jae enchanting the aristocratic daughters and even some aristocratic women, she couldn't help but want to ask where this person learned this from. Of course Mo-jae couldn't tell her that these were all learned from reading books in her previous life. No matter in which world, women are one of the two biggest cogs in human society. Mastering women means conquering 50%, or even 70% of the world. After all, most men in this world are strict with their wives. Therefore, Mo-jae has worked extra hard to study women's knowledge. He has read at least 50 classics on this subject, and the Nobles' Banquet is an excellent testing ground, coupled with the inherent skill of the almighty genius. You can say that, although Mo-jae is young, he has already broken through the realm of love saint and become a master-level hard arsonist. If it weren't for the age restriction that prevents me from getting a driver's license, I would already be driving a big car by now. Let's skip this topic for now. Does sister have any new inventions recently? Again the topic change technique. Okay, but I have a topic that is more interesting to me. Recently, my father said that something terrible happened in an unknown place. Really? What exactly? It seems that there are two super bad organizations that are enemies of each other in our country, and the knights are not a match for them at all. Agnes suddenly moved in front of Mo-jae, looking directly into the boy's purple eyes while walking backwards. According to some eyewitness information, one of the organizations is all female. It seems to use very strange weapons, such as shooting out unresponsive stones from small tubes. Don't you think it is very similar to the magic gun we studied some time ago? Quote. Sister, as one of the designers of that weapon, you don't have to do such a test, right? You know it very well, don't you? Mo-jae smiled slightly and pointed it out directly. Quote. Are those girls really Amo's men? They are really powerful. I heard that 20 royal knights surrounded one person, but they were broken through from the front, and all of them were beaten and hospitalized. Agnes's expression was very subtle. After hearing a few words from her father, she immediately thought of Mo-jae. Although she is usually a troublemaker, Agnes is actually quite smart, otherwise she would not have been able to create magic. Mo, aren't you afraid that I will tell my father about this? If I did, that will definitely cause a huge sensation. The dignified second prince is actually the leader of a mysterious organization, and he also has a group of combat power that can crush the knights. Does he want to make a coup by force? Ha ha ha, everyone will guess so. Bar. Be a little nervous. Mo, your biggest secret has been discovered by me, be serious, be serious. Be careful, sister, I will report it. Agnes raised her little fist and waved it, and her little mouth puffed out in dissatisfaction. You must know that she didn't fall asleep all night after discovering this incident. For the first time, Her Royal Highness regretted her own cleverness. Why should her ears hear such information? Isn't this very bad? And Amo too. He clearly knew that it was an invention that he was familiar with. Even if he had never seen the actual object, he could still associate it with him just by hearing the description. But he still let his subordinates use it openly, as if he didn't care, and deliberately let himself know. Sister, I never thought of hiding it from you. Mo-jae said with a shrug. What? If I think about it rationally, in order to keep the secret, I should kill my sister who knows about it, but it is impossible for me to do that. He looked directly into Agnes's eyes. The tenderness based on family affection has not diminished at all. She undoubtedly knows her weakness. If this matter is exposed, then the right to inherit the throne may be lost. But so what? Aren't you worried that I will tell you? I'm very worried, very worried. As long as my sister tells me, even if my father lets me go, those nobles will definitely take the opportunity to kill me. So. You have held my heart now. Mo-jae held Agnes's hand and placed it on her heart. The blonde princess could clearly feel his heartbeat. It's like asking her, are you going to do this? It is to crush this heart. Or are you pretending not to know anything? If I threaten this secret, will Amo listen to me in everything? Agnes lay on his heart, closed her eyes and listened to the melody of the young man's life. Quote dot dot dot. I'll listen to everything in general, but not about principles. Yes, yes, I know very well that Amo is the type who takes this aspect very seriously, but it's rare to catch your weakness. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Sister, I can't help but take advantage of it. Agnes opened her eyes suddenly and ran a few steps behind her. Then she spread her legs, put one hand on her hips, and pointed to the town in the distance with one hand. Mo, if you don't want the secret to be exposed, just give up all your time today and have a good day with my sister. In this way, I will help you keep the secret. Agnes said with a smile. How could you possibly say that? Agnes said to herself. When she found out that the matter was related to Mojay, her first reaction was to go back to the palace and burn all the design drawings at that time. Agnes's personal maid Ilya was shocked at the time, thinking that her princess had a falling out with His Highness Mojay. After all, she said she would keep the results of their joint research as treasures for the rest of her life, but they ended up burning them. Haha, I just said there is no need to be nervous, because sister, you will definitely not betray me. Quote dot dot dot. Really, Amo is so cunning. He actually said such words and trusted my sister so much. But unfortunately, my sister will not let your secret go. Agnes showed a gentle smile, finally acting like a sister for once, and raised her hand to put on Moji's head to touch the boy's black hair. Humph, if you want to keep your secret, then Amo, please play with me today. Yes, there is nothing we can do about it. Sister, you have caught me. In this case, I can only play with you. Hee, that's what it has to do. Then let's hold hands, just like we did when we were kids. Okay. The Black Prince and the Golden Princess held each other's little hands and ran towards the port city not far away. What a noble and lovely two people, they are as beautiful as a fairy tale. Wearing exquisite clothes and having gorgeous appearance, at such a young age, every move carries a nobility and elegance that commoners don't have, as if two angels have fallen into the world. Agnes was all smiles. In fact, if this happened to the third prince, Algard, she would definitely choose to report it to the king. But Mojay is special to her. In the past, when everyone denied Agnes's ideals and thought that she could not use magic and therefore embarked on a heretical path called magic, only Mojay stood by her side in the whole country. Although Agnes seems heartless and doesn't care about anything external, that's just her appearance. How could she not care? When everyone around him is denying himself, only Mojay is willing to support himself, only he encourages his ideals, and only he stands by his side from beginning to end. Agnes was thinking about it then. Even if it's not because he can use magic, even if it's because of Mo, he must successfully research the magic items and shut up the adults who mock him for standing beside him. And she knows very well how powerful Mojay is. Regardless of the girls under him who can defeat a group of royal knights, Mojay himself is the strongest magician in the kingdom, and he has the power to kill him without anyone noticing. But he didn't do that. Instead, he allowed himself to control his weakness and put his heart in his own hands. Agnes suddenly felt that even if she chose to tear her mouth to pieces, she would never tell the boy's secret. The moment you are willing to stand by your side, it also means that I am standing by your side. I will never let anyone hurt Amo, absolutely. Thank you, sister. Yeah, but, now that you know a little bit, why not tell me everything? Amo, what exactly are you busy with? Isn't it really a plan to make a coup if my father doesn't pass the throne to you in the future? How is it possible? Although I can do it at any time now, I won't do it. And in the final analysis, the cause of this matter is you, sister. What does it have to do with me? Agnes was shocked. Why did she still have her own share? Sister, didn't you bring me a forbidden book back then? That was the beginning of everything. After that, I blah 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 blah. After Mojay explained the matter, Agnes was stunned on the spot. She never expected that the fuse turned out to be herself. If she reported this to her father, she believed that she might not be able to see the sun tomorrow, and her mother would definitely beat her ass to pieces. And I can also accept Moji's reason for not exposing his identity. There are evil organizations that have been lurking in the shadows of history for thousands of years. I think there are people from them in every country. It turns out that's the case. No wonder I said that Amo has been so busy recently. It turns out that he is secretly fighting a mysterious dark organization. This sounds really cool. Haha, that's not the case. The cult has become more peaceful recently. We are building a new stronghold here. I feel relaxed for a while. Then every time I come to play with you these days, what are you doing instead? Do you even need to ask? It's a blind date, Mojay said matter-of-factly. Quote question mark question mark question mark quote. Several question marks popped up on Agnes' head. She looked at Mojay dumbfounded, a little doubtful of what she had just heard. A blind date. Yes, probably because of your declaration of not getting married, sister. My father is particularly concerned about my marriage. He has been busy dealing with the noble daughters recently. After Mojay stretched, he counted them one by one on his fingers. Let me think about it. 3 days ago it was with the eldest daughter of the Gunhild family, Chin. 7 days ago it was with Asuna of the Yuki family. Half a month ago it was with Laura Lawrence of the Lawrence family, and Duke Hosen Sylvia from home. Wait for me. Third update. It seems that I accidentally overwrote the free chapters, so I'll post more and then put them on the shelves. There is someone in the comment area who is very foul-mouthed for some reason and is looking for trouble. He curses and wants me to explain the magic synthesis table, the principles of using the protagonist's various abilities, and the principles of the world. I will delete it without any objection. It has already been written that Euphilia's engagement was cancelled in public, and then Mojay first attacked the third prince and then robbed him. Let me think about it. 3 days ago it was with Chin, the eldest daughter of the Gunhild family. 7 days ago it was with Asuna of the Yuki family. Half a month ago it was with Laura Lawrence of the Lawrence family, and it was with Duke Hosen's family Sylvia. And Arisli Lu Nebilis of the Nebilis Imperial Palace, and Lana of the Rei Yesti Kingdom. Genshin Impact. Sword. Princess Lovers. The last battlefield between you and me. OVERL. Wait, Amo, wait for me. Agnes stopped Mojay from counting with a dark face. She felt like she was being tricked now. I thought, dear Amo, that you were too busy upholding justice and fighting evil to pay attention to me, but you told me that you were in love. What's going on? I suddenly have the urge to draw a sword. Amo, do you want to see my sister show you a 40-meter-long magic sword? Quote. Sister, what are you excited about? I thought you were not interested in this aspect. Haven't you made an engagement yet? Didn't you say you wanted to be the king? I thought you were celibate like my sister and me. Agnes gritted her teeth and looked at Mojay. Didn't we agree to be single forever? How could you betray your dear sister? How is that possible? I never said that I don't plan to get married like my sister. Rather, I am looking forward to finding my future wife. Then why haven't you gotten engaged? The reason is very simple. I can't find a satisfactory partner, that's all. Maybe my standards are too high, but it's a good thing to have higher standards when it comes to finding a princess. I believe there must be someone who can satisfy me somewhere in the world, girl. Mojay said seriously and yearningly. Agnes's lips twitched wildly, but she couldn't find a way to refute, so she became so angry that her mouth bulged, and she took another hard bite of the sunset fruit. I don't know why it's a bit annoying. When Amo finds a girl he likes, the person he likes most will no longer be him. The brother who grabbed his clothes and said, Ouchie-chan, I like you the most, will be gone forever. Ah, I feel so sad. I suddenly have trouble breathing. Why did I take out the magic sword? It's strange. After thinking about it and not knowing what to do, Agnes was extremely troubled. Finally, she slapped Mojay on the shoulder and said seriously, Amo, we are still young. Sister Wang, how many chapters do you think we need before we grow up? Well, that's all right then. If you meet a girl you're attracted to in the future, you must show it to me first. Sister, I'll check it for you. Does a woman who plans to be single for the rest of her life have the right to say such a thing? No road race. Mojay finally agreed, but he suddenly thought, should he introduce the hundreds of girls in the courtyard first? Well, it's too much trouble, so forget it. On the other side, Agnes felt inexplicably powerless, and even wanted to complain about what pointless things she was doing. After spending so many years with Mojay, didn't she still know it? What if I really let myself see it? As long as it is decided by this person, the princess, then it is useless for anyone to persuade her. The Black Prince has the will of a tyrant, and his thoughts will not be influenced by others. HMPH. At least it's mine now. Elder sister. Let's go, Amo. I'm going to have a lot of fun today, and I won't go home until dark. I won't go home even if I have to be beaten by my father and queen. I always feel like I've foreseen the ending. Mojay couldn't help but dumbfounded. What kind of rebellious girl's speech was this? But it didn't matter. Anyway, the king and queen got angry in the end, and they were definitely not the ones who were hung up and beaten. It's nice to think about it this way, isn't it? I have a share in playing, and you support me when I'm scolded or beaten. So with a relaxed mood, Mojay spent the whole day having fun for the first time in a long time. Although he had visited almost every city in the kingdom during his secret walks over the years, this was the first time that what he had in his hands was not swords and guns, but skewers and snacks. Mojay was in a strange mood, but very comfortable. Dusk. Mojay and Agnes were sitting on a bench on the street. The black-haired prince remained elegant, holding his head and admiring the setting sun in the sky. The blonde princess was resting on his lap, stroking her stuffed belly with a satisfied look on her face. Ah, I feel so comfortable, so happy. Is this the life of ordinary people? It's so comfortable. Agnes rubbed Mojay's legs happily. The royal family has supreme power, not freedom, and as a king's child, he is burdened with corresponding obligations from the beginning of his birth. Mojay likes this inherent obligation to maintain the majesty, reserve and responsibility of the royal family at all times, which makes him feel special. But Agnes is different. She is a girl who purely wants to be a magician, so she wants freedom more than power. Then after I become the king, I will let you, Sister Wang, live such a life every day. Let me think about it. Then I will find a reason to demote you to a commoner, and then give you a lot of money, sister, so that you can be worry-free every day. Do what you want to do without worrying about it. Amo, I think my father has gotten a little old recently, and it's time for him to step down. Don't you think so? Quote. Sister, you are really a filial daughter. Agnes showed a longing expression. There were no etiquette classes, no dance classes, no blind dates to urge marriage, and no elegance to maintain. You can sleep in as much as you want every day, play around as you like, and study magic to your heart's content. What a happy life this is. Just thinking about it makes her drool. Decided, I must go all out to help Amo become king. Then let him demote himself to a civilian. Suddenly I felt that being a civilian was also great. Sister, you are mistaken. What we are experiencing now is not the life of civilians, but the life of aristocrats. Now Agnes had a serious misunderstanding. Mojay shook his head and corrected. They were playing around today, carefree and free. This was not the daily life of civilians, but the daily life of nobles. Commoners had to go out early and come back late every day to work for a living, but they also had to pay taxes on most of the wealth they earned to the nobles. They basically had no time for fun. Only the nobility is the happiest group in the world. They have land at their disposal, no heavy responsibilities, and even few laws that bind them. Is that so? Will the king that Amo wants to be change these things? Sister, our world is beautiful, but it is by no means beautiful. I have seen with my own eyes the darkness hidden under these beauties. Mojay did not answer her directly. If you want to change the world, you must first understand it. He had personally walked into the darkness when he was still young, ranging from thieves to unscrupulous nobles to the Diabolus order. And he is already doing what he can, whether it's defeating thieves, hunting monsters, or dealing with the Diabolus order. I will definitely change this flawed world and build a perfect utopia. One day in the future, everything will collapse, and on the ruins of the old world, a beautiful new world will come. But I can't do it alone, so sister, are you willing to help me? Mojay extended an invitation to Agnes. The golden princess held the black prince's cheek with her hands, her eyes full of doting and love. Sure enough, my Amo is the person most suitable to be the king. Well, One-chan will help you. As long as it is something I can do, tell One-chan anything. Since you are willing to support my dream, then I will also support your ideals. It's agreed. I will become the best magician, so Amo will also become the best king. When the time comes, we will also study adventures together. Yes, we have an appointment. Agnes stretched out her little thumb, and Mojay was stunned for a moment, then she also smiled and stretched out her little thumb, hooked the two fingers together, and then let each other's thumbs touch each other. This is a gesture that the two of them agreed to use when they were young. It is a custom that Mojay told her about her previous life. Agnes likes it very much. Then, that's it for today. Yes, it's time to go back and get scolded. Don't worry, I will intercede with my father and queen. If Tuagu can't bear it anymore, I will also help my sister use healing magic. My effect is much better than that of any holy archbishop. Amo, why don't you accompany me and get scolded? We are brothers and sisters who share adversity together. Then according to what you said, we need to bring Algard along with us. Mojay said jokingly. He had a great time today, spending the same time with different people felt different. Alpha and the others worship themselves too much, although it feels great to be worshipped by a group of beautiful girls. But when you are with Agnes as a family member, you will lose a lot of restraint. Just when Mojay was about to find a deserted alley, open the space door and go back to the capital directly. Get out. Get out of here quickly. If you dare to come here even if you can't raise the money for treatment, you are an untouchable. An unpleasant sound reached my ears. Mojay and Agnes looked at the same time and saw several guards not far away pulling a little girl and pushing her to the ground. That was exactly what they met today, the white-haired girl selling fruit. Then a paunchy, tasteless-looking nobleman with rings on his fingers dropped a few coins directly on the girl. The white-haired girl had tears in her eyes. The push just now caused her to fall on the stone and her head was bleeding. Please, Lord Earl, please save my mother first. I will pay you back the remaining money within 3 days, no, 2 days. It's bad luck for Mad. Get as far as I can from the count. If you dare to come here next time if you don't have money, I will throw you and your mother into the sea to feed the deep-sea dragon lizards. Quote, quote. This world is very unreasonable. If civilians want to be cured, they can only rely on the healing magic of the nobles, but this will be charged, and the amount charged is completely determined by the local nobles. Needless to say, pricing is generally extremely high. There are even people who only treat cold symptoms once, but end up with a lifetime of debts. There are only a handful of good nobles in this world, but bad nobles are everywhere. Mojay certainly didn't intend to leave it alone. Although this is just a trivial matter for a person with his position, such things happen every moment in the world. But if he turned around and walked away now, he would definitely feel unhappy. But just when he was about to take action, Ning Guang fell to his knees, biting his lips as if he had made up his mind. He took out a bottle of water from his small bag and poured it on his face, and then wiped his face with his sleeves vigorously. Next moment, the mud on the lotus is washed away. The girl reveals her true appearance. At this moment, everyone around her was attracted to her. Just now, the arrogant and ugly Viscount lost his balance and fell into the mud, but he quickly got up from the ground and stared at Ningguang intently. After the dirty little face was washed, it revealed its true appearance, delicate and fair, like an excellent porcelain doll, with long snow-white hair and ruby eyes. Looking so stunning at such a young age, anyone could tell that she would grow up to be a stunning beauty. Please save my mother. When the condensed light washed away the dust, the world seemed brighter, and the whole place was in an uproar. How could there be such a beautiful girl? The men's eyes widened. The women exclaimed. Her snow-white long hair is like silk, and her true red eyes are like flint. Everyone is wondering why they haven't noticed this girl who rushes through the streets every day. Such a beautiful little goddess. Mojay was also very surprised. It's like Cinderella. No, Cinderella in the fairy tale cannot be compared with her. Only Cinderella wearing glass slippers and a formal dress can stun everyone at the ball. But she just washed the dust off her cheeks and everyone couldn't look away. The patchwork cloth she was wearing did not match her stunning appearance, like the most beautiful pearls wrapped in a rag. Yet if this had been a waste, now she was about to be desecrated. Lord Earl, please use healing magic to save my mother. Ning Guang is prepared to let himself be shattered. She is just a teenage girl, but she is so strong yet fragile. The way she sacrifices herself to save her mother is really poignant and heartbreaking. The surrounding passers-by turned their heads unbearably, hoping in their hearts that a miracle would happen in the next second, hoping to save the poor girl from the disgusting count. Okay, I'll save, ha ha ha, I will definitely save your mother, tisk tisk, I really didn't expect it, ha 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 ha. I thought it was an ugly duckling, but it turned out that it was just a swan that took the initiative to get stuck in the mud in order to blend in with the ducks. The Earl burst into laughter. Ning Guang gritted his teeth and clenched the corners of his clothes with his small hands. She dreamed of becoming a businessman since she was a child. The reason is very simple, because I want to make money so that I and my mother can live a good life. As a businessman, you have to see clearly what kind of business can make a profit and what kind of business can make a loss. Although Ningguang is young, she does have the talent of a businessman. The girl thought that this was just a deal. If she continued like this, she would definitely lose her important purity, but if she could exchange herself for her mother's life, then she would complete the deal regardless of the cost. The count stretched out his hand towards him. Xiao Ningguang closed her eyes tightly. He, little beauty, you really hide it so well, but let me come now. Don't put your dirty hands over, or I'll chop you up. Suddenly at this moment, like a rehearsed fairy tale, an extremely noble figure appeared in front of Ning Guang. You are. Ning Guang opened his eyes wide. This beautiful and deep black hair was as beautiful as the night sky. Anyone who saw it once would never forget it. The ugly earl was also stunned for a moment, and then he became furious. He almost met the beautiful girl. Although he didn't know who it was, she dared to be so disrespectful to him on his territory. He was simply looking for death. Where did you come from, that brat? Guard, get this brat away. Idiot, don't you even know your master? Take a good look with your eyes that are so cloudy that you are almost blind. Who am I? Jet black hair, unknown, ah no, handsome purple eyes, you are the second prince, His Highness Mo Jie. I never expected the appearance of the royal family. The ugly count was so frightened that he fell to the ground. The surrounding civilians also exclaimed in surprise. They were far away from the royal family. They did not expect that they would have the opportunity to see His Royal Highness today. At the same time, Agnes also walked out of the crowd, with an expression that she really couldn't do anything to him, taking off the hat on her head, proudly revealing her brilliant blonde hair. No. Her Royal Highness Agnes. King, the Queen is here too. This is our prince and princess. Oh my god, I was standing with them just now and I didn't even recognize them. Just now, your two highnesses bought snacks from my stall. The appearance of the second royal family immediately made the surrounding discussions louder. Everyone would be curious about the appearance of the family that dominates this kingdom. As a result, everyone present looked at him with awe and curiosity. King, Your Highness the Prince, Your Highness the Princess, why are you here? Why don't you salute? Why don't you bow when you meet the royal family? Is it because you don't understand etiquette, or do you have a rebellious heart? I'm not. I didn't. Please don't say such nonsense. He was frightened to death. Although he was a fat man, he rolled up in front of Mo Jie vigorously, and then gave a big salute. His flattering look immediately opened the eyes of the people around him. Is this the royal family? Just standing there can turn the normally arrogant nobleman into looking like a pig licking. Your Highness the Prince, Your Highness the Queen, it's cold outside, please come to my mansion. I will immediately tell the chef to prepare the dishes. Fresh blue tuna has just been shipped from overseas. Please be sure to taste it. No need. Compared to the food you prepared, I think the street food in this city is more delicious. As for the wind chill, Sister Wang and I just came back from hunting the nearby explosive flame tree, so the wind chill is not a bit cold. As he spoke, Mo Jie took out the material for the explosive flame tree. The ever-burning fire, this flame-like seed, was at the core of the explosive flame tree, and a blazing wind wave suddenly rolled up around it. Seeing that a monster that usually required dozens of high-level adventurers to be defeated was defeated by the prince and princess, the awe around them suddenly became even more intense. Respect for the royal family +1+1+1. No, His Highness is worthy of being a prince. He was able to defeat an A-level monster. So the preparations for the celebration banquet are. Compared with this, Earl, can you tell me why you were unwilling to help this girl treat her mother because of insufficient treatment fees, but now you are willing? Compared with this, Earl, can you tell me why you were unwilling to help this girl treat her mother because of insufficient treatment fees, but now you are willing? This. The ugly Earl kept rubbing his hands and looking at Mo Jie with a smile. Of course, he was undoubtedly cursing in his heart. There are many complicated reasons for this. Your Highness is still a child. You will understand when you grow up. Idiot, do you think I'm a fool? How dare you? But His Highness suddenly visited my territory without telling me in advance. Isn't this a bit inappropriate? His meaning was obvious. As long as Mojay did not interfere in this matter, he would not tell His Majesty that the two of them had trespassed into his territory. However, Mojay sneered. Is there anything in the world that is not the royal land? I can go wherever I want. Why do I need to inform you? Who do you think you are? Your Majesty, I can't pretend that I didn't hear what you said. I am Earl Brandon. My ancestors have made great achievements in battle. I am a descendant of that hero and a noble. And I am from the royal family. Mojay roared, and suddenly a great pressure appeared on his body, as if there was an invisible dragon, roaring as he spoke. Except for Agnes, everyone present kneeled down subconsciously, lowering their heads and not daring to look directly at the Black Prince. Among the two abilities Taverin brought to him, Mojay prefers Dragon Might to the powerful Eye of the Wind King. Turn your emotions into momentum and exert psychological pressure on those around you. At this moment, everyone was extremely shocked. They were frightened to their knees by a young boy's loud shout. How majestic this was! In my eyes, nobility is not based on the blood of that person, but on the great achievements he has achieved. Hundreds of years ago, Earl Brandon, your ancestor once broke through the enemy army single-handedly and was able to take the enemy's general's head among tens of thousands of enemy troops. He was indeed a hero without a doubt. But what about you? If I give you a spear now, can you achieve the same great deeds as your ancestors? No, you can't. The noble blood of that hero has been tainted by your incompetent descendants. Every word Mojay said was like a heavy hammer, hitting everyone's hearts hard. Everyone was more shocked than moved. Is this really what a teenager can say? Is this the child who has inherited the king's bloodline? So extraordinary at such a young age. You really make me sick. Why did our royal family give the nobles territory? How can a fool like you own this land? Mojay walked towards him step by step, and with every step the count would tremble and retreat, like a mouse cornered by a lion. Finally the Black Prince came up to him and spoke in a volume that only the count could hear. I will step down if you are incompetent, and the Wong family will regain this territory, and then let capable people take the leadership. Quote exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark quote. These words were like a bucket of cold water poured on the count. He was obviously wearing a warm fleece jacket, but at this moment he was as cold as if he was in a world of ice and snow. To say what is the most feared thing for a noble, there is no doubt that taking away their territory. The ugly Earl's spirit instantly exceeded the critical point and he shouted like crazy. No, absolutely not. I don't agree. Guards, take them all. Take them all. This is my territory, and what I say is the law here. You want to attack the royal family? Ha ha ha. Yes. But this is your highness the prince you forced me to do. No one can take away my land or my power. No one can even think about it. In my land, I am the law. The count said ferociously and fiercely, and the anxious mouse was trying to bite off the lion's neck. He is indeed incompetent and despicable, ugly and greedy for money, lustful and lazy. It can be said that he has all the characteristics of a bad nobleman. But precisely because he had been a nobleman for so long, the Earl understood a truth. That is, there are only two kinds of people in this world. Those who are in power, and those who are not. He has already enjoyed the beauty that power brings, like poisonous wine. Even though he knows that he cannot stop drinking it, he will never let it go. Now if someone wants to take away his power, even if it is a royal family, he will raise the flag of rebellion with his greasy and fat hands. But, HMPH, are you using the only blood you inherited from your ancestors to protect your own privileges? It's such a waste and stupidity. Mojay said coldly. He glanced at the bewildered guards around him and suddenly drank. I give this order in the name of the second Prince Mojay. You now obey my order and take down this stupid Earl nobleman. This, Master, Prince, who should I listen to? The guards were hesitant and panicked, not knowing whose orders to follow. The ugly Earl had a distorted expression, stamping his feet hard and shouting. What are you losers doing? I am the noble who hired you. You are all my pawns, of course you listen to me. Quote, quote. The guards frowned slightly and were extremely shaken, while Mojay crossed his shoulders and said expressionlessly, think about it. If you offend him, you will only offend a noble who is about to die, but if you are an enemy of me, you will be an enemy of the entire kingdom. Quote, exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark, quote. X. As soon as these words came out, the hair on the guards' bodies suddenly stood up. The Black Prince's cold purple eyes seemed to be looking directly into his soul. I obey. Your Highness the Prince. The guards shouted in unison, turned around and pointed the spears in their hands at the Earl. Seeing this scene, the Earl also fell to the ground in despair. The word power, power, lingered in his mind, causing him to spit out blood. At this moment, he understood that what crushed the power he was proud of was only greater power. Mojay turned around. This man was no longer worthy of his attention, and his resistance just now was just foolishness. In the final analysis, the Count's power and land were given by the royal family. Let's go and save your mother. His Royal Highness Prince. Mojay stretched out his hand to the stunned Ningguang. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.